Guess what happened to me? I've been challenged. And in this video, I'm going to go ahead and answer that challenge. Stick around, you'll see exactly what I mean. Hello to all my friends out there in YouTube land. It is your good buddy Philtastic Phil here, and I'd like to welcome you back to my channel. So just like I said in the introduction to this video, I was challenged recently. Brian LCS, a channel I've been speaking about an awful lot lately. He's doing some great work with the CBCA Awards. Check him out if you don't know what I'm talking about. He challenged me to show off some of my first appearances in my collection. And this is a challenge that's been going around YouTube. I've seen a couple channels do it. Brian, of course. I think Tylox did it. I think I saw Matt Woods and the Blasters do it. I may be mistaken. But I figured let me go ahead and take him up on this challenge. Now, I was going to film this video with my wife. I had a nice little kind of twist planned. And she's been wanting to actually come on the channel for a segment or two. But she's not ready yet, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and present some of my number ones to you. Now, what I did for first appearances, because I have a pretty sizable collection that I'm working with, and I am in the middle of a great reorganization. So for me to fish through all the different first appearances, to be honest with you, is just not going to happen. I decided instead, let me go ahead and go with the first appearances that I have in slabs. So with that, let me go ahead and show you what I have. The first slab I have to show you today is my most recent slab. If you've been watching my channel and you're subscribed, then you may have seen the CGC unboxing video I had, where I gave them a couple suggestions I feel CGC should take. Whether they do or not is up to them, of course, but the book I unboxed in that video is actually a Signature Series book. It's the first remark I have, and that is Ultimate Fallout number 4, the first appearance of Miles Morales. This is a 9.0. And you'll see I've got the little Miles Morales label at the top, and I have that signed by Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley, and I've got a Bagley remark here of the Spider-Man. Pretty cool. Great addition to the collection. The next slab I have for you is a character who, when he debuted, was a very, I guess you could say, hot commodity. And he's made a couple appearances first, but definitely nothing as impactful, I guess, as his first appearance. And this is, again, another more recent character, just from maybe 3 or 4 years ago at this point. This is Teen Titans number 12 at a 9.6. I'm trying to arc it so I don't get any reflection here. And that is the first appearance of the Batman Who Laughs. Okay. This next one is one I had in the collection for a while. I didn't buy this off the racks anyway. Had bought this, I guess you could say, through the back issue bins. And I had submitted it. I knew it wasn't in the best condition. I had it pressed and cleaned anyway, and I'm kind of surprised it did come back as high as it is. But here we go. This is Uncanny X-Men number 221 at a 9.0, the first appearance of Mr. Sinister. Now, I have a significant amount of X-Men books. That's always been the primary focus of my collection ever since it was about 14 years old. I went from Ninja Turtles to X-Men, so one mutant to the other, I guess you could say. And so you wouldn't be so don't be surprised, I guess I should say, if you see more than a few X-Men books pop up. Speaking of which, this was, I think, the first appearance I ever collected, and it's an X-Men character who I've always been very partial to. And to be quite honest with you, he's one of those characters I feel the editorial staff just kind of hasn't known what to do with for a while. And that is Bishop from Uncanny X-Men number 282, his first cover appearance, and that is at a 9.2. This one, to be honest with you, when I got back, I did think was going to be a little bit higher, but c'est la vie. And next might be a little bit of a controversial pick. It's another X-Men, and this is, I remember actually buying this out of the back issue bins when I first started collecting, just for $1. X-Men Annual number 14 at a 9.6, the first cameo appearance of Gambit. Okay, and just to cover all of my bases, excuse me, I present to you Uncanny X-Men, number 266. Oh, almost lost some slabs. At an 8.5, the first full appearance of Gambit. So I showed you the cameo and the full appearance just in case there's any question as to what the actual first appearance is. This next book is one of my favorite characters, even though she's a newer character, and she's getting a lot of attention recently. You'll know why when you see it. I bought this book fresh off the rack in 2014. I knew that this was a different kind of story and a different kind of character, and I'm glad to see that she's finally getting some due here. And that is Ms. Marvel number 1 at a 9.8. Now, some might say this isn't an actual first appearance because Kamala Khan appeared earlier, but this is the first one where she becomes Ms. Marvel, so I'm counting it. And we are enjoying so far, I should say, that Disney Plus series. It is a little bit different, and I realize that we're not necessarily the intended audience, but that's what works for Marvel and the MCU and their shows, is that they always try to change it up. They don't get stagnant that way. This other one is another recent first appearance that, to be honest with you, I may be submitting this to get regraded and pressed and whatnot. This was before, to be honest with you, I started pressing comics. I've only started doing that recently, and I don't press myself. Of course, this is I usually ask CGC to do it, and that is NYX number 3, the first appearance of X-23, and it's at a 7.5. Now, when I look up the grader's notes, it says that there are some light denting, and there is here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. Yeah, you could just about see it there. But there's nothing that's color breaking, so I really do think that this will, a press will do this one good. Again, NYX number 3, first X-23.
Hey everybody, it's your friend Philtastic Phil here. But you already knew that because you're watching the video that I'm interrupting, unless you clicked on my video by accident or just had something else on YouTube. Maybe you were learning to like macrame or something and fell asleep, and now YouTube is just on autopilot. Anyway, I'm interrupting myself to tell you who my Philtastic friends for this video are. These are people who successfully used the correct hashtag password in the last video in their comments. I should note here it's very early. I got up to try to get some work done, and my wife and my baby are still sleeping, so I'm trying to speak very quietly as to not wake them up. So my Philtastic friends for this video are Brian LCS, White Wolf Mojo, J80 Hobbies, Cup O Comics, Master and Madam Blaster, Wahoo Comics. I gotta ask, is it Wahoo like those early Yahoo commercials, or is it like Wahoo like the noise that Super Mario makes when he jumps? You tell me. And of course, last but not least, Gary B, the casual comic guy. So again, these people successfully used the special hashtag password that I gave out in my last video. I'm going to give you the hashtag for this video. Let's see, it's going to be hashtag challenged. Again, that's hashtag challenged. If you put hashtag challenged in your comments to this video, I will give you a special shout out on the next video. And I can promise you that I'm working on some sort of a giveaway for all of these hashtags. Maybe not for this video, because this is kind of like a test run. But anyway, you want to get in the practice of doing it so that when I do introduce this kind of hashtag giveaway, you'll be ready. You can win something and it'll be easy. Well, anyway, enough of my babbling. I'm going to go do some work. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Taking a little bit of a break from the X-Men comics, but they'll be back soon. Don't worry. This was another first appearance I picked up recently. I actually got this off of Shortboxed. Which is only the second time I bought anything from Shortboxed. Very reasonable deal. And this is, I guess, kind of a sleeper, maybe a blue ocean, if you will. As you may know, the Sandman Netflix series is coming out in about a month or two at this point. And this is not the first appearance of Sandman, but it is the first appearance of, I wouldn't say a key character in that, but certainly a very popular character. And this is Sandman number 5 at a 9.6. First Merv Pumpkinhead. And it was kind of funny. Right after I bought this, and again, I got a great deal on this. Um, it was like the day after I received it, they announced that Mark Hamill will be doing the voice of Merv. So that might be something I might be willing to part with soon. I don't know, hard to say with the way the market's been. Okay, the next one, not a high grade, but I actually got this from my LCS maybe about a year or two ago, year and a half, let's say. And it's definitely a beat up copy. I think I got it pressed as well, if I'm not mistaken. But here we go, Avengers number 57, the first appearance of Vision, and this is a 5.5. And again, it's kind of deal where no grade, low grade is better than no grade. And it's a book I've always wanted and snagged it cheap. You know, I don't care that it's not a 9.8. They don't all have to be 9.8s. It's kind of funny. I guess my LCS had gotten a collection because within a week of each other, this one came in. And again, this is not a high grade at all. Another key Avengers book. This is Avengers number 196, also at a 5.5, the first appearance of Taskmaster. You know, a lot of people gave the Black Widow movie grief because they felt that Taskmaster wasn't handled in the best way. And although it was not how I wanted to see Taskmaster, Taskmaster was not the problem with that film. That is the only MCU film that I really don't like, and just I see there's so many missed opportunities. I would watch Thor: Dark of the World 3 times in a row before I watch Black Widow again. But hopefully Taskmaster comes back for Thunderbolts or whatnot, and you know, kind of redeems the character a little bit, because there is, I think, there are a lot of different directions they could go with that. But pressing on, or moving on, I should say, this is a book I've had for a while. I didn't get this pressed, although I'd have to look at the grader's notes. I don't believe that the issues with this book necessarily are something you'd press out. Amazing Spider-Man number 300 at a 7.0, first appearance of Venom. I think I actually got this from eBay maybe like 15 years ago. I could be wrong, but I'm happy with it. This is a book I got dirt cheap. I remember I got this for $10, believe it or not, off of eBay. And then a film came out with this character, didn't do well, and now this is a key that's pretty affordable again, and I feel like is under a lot of people's radars. X Factor number 6, first appearance of Apocalypse, and again, not the highest grade, 8.0, but still a great book. It's kind of funny. When I took this book to get submitted to CGC, I didn't mail it in directly. I went to Midtown Comics. I've only gone to Midtown Comics once, and that's a story I'm going to tell for another time. I want my friend Mark to come on and help me tell that. We went for the Marjorie Liu signing, and I brought a stack of books to submit, and many of them are in here, and that was one, along with the next one I'm going to show you, the one after that, and then one of the big ones, and you'll know which one it is. I'll indicate which one it is, I guess you could say, when we get to that. And the guy from Midtown was like, "Wow, you must really trust us, huh?" I was like, "Nope, that's why I've got receipts and a friend who is much bigger than me to bear witness." But anyway, this is another book here, not in a high grade at all. I bought this from my LCS for like $50 because my LCS owner at the time, and this was under the original owner, Elon, by the way, in case you're familiar with Fat Moose Comics, was like, "Yeah, this is just a beat up copy. You're sure you want this?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And it's the kind of thing that years later I still don't regret. Fantastic Four number 48, first appearance of Silver Surfer, cameo of Galactus, and this is at a 1.5. And you could say, yeah, I mean, look, I know that it's beat the hell out of. You could press it, but what are you going to get? A 2 at most out of it? There's significant chipping and deterioration here. But look, I'm happy with it how it is. And regardless, it's still a cool book. This is one I know I got dirt cheap a while ago. I know I keep saying that, but I guess I'm overly pleased with myself in that case. Avengers Annual number 10 at a 9.6. First appearance of Rogue. Yeah, a lot of people give this book crap, saying that they hate this cover. I like this cover. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but it also gives you a whole lot of information, more so than the average comic. Still a cool part, and again, Rogue and its first Madeline Pryor as well. I didn't really even realize that until just looking at the cheat sheet here. Here's another book I got from my LCS, and I think this was also included in that haul I sent to Midtown. I've never had this pressed, and it actually looks like it may benefit from that. I don't even know that I opened up the front cover of this, but it looks like maybe somebody had a piece of paper, maybe wrote on the paper on top of the comic, because you could kind of see light imprints and indentations now that I'm looking at it in the light. This was this the first one? No, this was probably the second big X-Men key I ever purchased. I put this on like a layaway plan when my LCS offered those. But here you have giant size X-Men #1 at a 7.5. First appearance of basically almost everyone on this cover. Second appearance of Wolverine. Cool piece. This is one of the crown jewels of my collection. This next one was the first major key I bought. Major X-Men key I bought, I should say. And this, again, was for my LCS. I put this on layaway, and I've talked about this, I think, before. I actually, when I saw this book up there, and it was a steal, considering what the value is, for now at least. I remember I actually asked my mom about, oh, you think I should buy this? Just because I guess I was kind of subconsciously looking for somebody to talk me out of it. And yeah, she asked the regular parent questions. Well, do you think it's going to be worth something? I was like, well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of first appearances. So you like it? Yeah, you have the money? Yeah, just go for it. And I definitely do not regret that. X-Men #1. And this was also the last of the keys I sent through Midtown, which made the guy say, you must really trust us. And you've got the first appearance of Cyclops, Professor Xavier, Iceman, Magneto, Beast, Angel, Jean Grey, you name it. Great book. 4.0. Yeah, it's not a high grade, but hey, it's X-Men #1. And for a while, that was the crowning piece of my collection. I didn't want to say jewel again. And the last one I have to show you, and this was kind of like one of the reasons I wanted to bring my wife on. I've shown this as I make as much noise as humanly possible. I've shown this on my channel before. I have a series that I should get back to. I didn't stop doing it. Hold on. Okay, it's stuck in this bag, so I'm just going to leave it in the bag. It's not that I stopped doing it for any particular reason, I just haven't come back to it yet. Mainly so that I have a slab to show off that I want my friend Mark to come on and help me with, and we haven't really gotten together and figured it out yet. The name of the series is Slabbed Stories, excuse me. You can go and I have a playlist of all those if you wanted to take a look, and there's only, I think, 3 or 4 at this point. Maybe I'll put this one underneath it too. But this one, my wife utterly surprised me on my 40th birthday a couple years ago. Threw me a big surprise party, and then which would have been fine. That present would have been good enough. When we got home, she gave me this, and this would have been good enough on its own for the next 10 years. And I've said that to her. I don't want her spending too much on me. Yeah, this was a key that I had in my collection at one point, sold to help somebody out, and never, got the money back or ever to buy it back. But when I told that story to my wife, she took note and she took it to heart, and she upgraded me. This initial book is the first. This book is the first appearance of my favorite character of all time. I initially had this, and when I had it graded, it was, I think, a 4.0, which I was satisfied with. But when my wife surprised me, she upgraded me, and without further ado, I present to you Hulk 181 at an 8.5, the first full appearance, cover appearance of Wolverine. And yes, I count this as the first appearance because I don't have Hulk 180. There you go. Maybe one day I'll get lucky and just get the other one too, just to cover my bases. And this is the pinnacle of my collection here for a few different reasons. Besides that it's my favorite character, it's a high grade for this book at least. Cool cover, iconic cover, but it's a gift from my beautiful wife, and I appreciate that so much. So those are my number one appearances, my first appearances rather, in Slabs I had to show you. Again, I just have simply too many first appearances raw to highlight here. I wouldn't even know where to start. But I hope that you enjoyed my little video here. And I think what the next thing I should do is challenge somebody else. So I'm going to challenge a newer YouTube channel I've recently been watching. The name of the channel is Cat Fan Comic Man. He does a lot of different kind of collectibles and whatnot, but I'm challenging Cat Fan. Show me your first appearances. Show YouTube. Show the world. And with that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you haven't done so already yet, please consider giving me a thumbs up, subscribing, and sharing this video, of course, all that fun YouTube jazz. And remember, I have that 100 subscriber giveaway going on. You have until the end of June, which is roaring right down the path, to go ahead and put your entry in. There's more information on that on this channel. And hopefully within the first weekend of July, the first Saturday of July, when we do our live show, I'll be unveiling who the winner is. With that, I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, your week, whenever you're watching this. Take care. Peace, love, and comics. Good night.